Hey everybody, Tim Anderson here, aka Renphil, with my favorite part of the morning, first thing in the morning, bedhead, bedbeard. It is 7 a.m. on April 2nd. I have a boiling hot cup of coffee in front of me. We're going to be making a final pass on the world map this morning. The hand is mostly better. You guys can see um, that finger's already kind of started peeling it better. The pinky one is going to be there for a while. That's still kind of a. I mean, the bubble's kind of gone, but the pink flesh is there. It itches like crazy. So I've got most of my movement back in the hand. So that actually healed quicker than I thought it would, because the burn was last Tuesday, so a week and a half ago was when I had my fun times with the water heater. Gas water heater. That's the one thing. The place we live, it's that water heater's got to be it's got to be 30 years old. I mean, it's an old water heater, and it's gas. And I'm 41. I've never had problems with gas boilers before, but that one was being cranky that morning. Anyway, hand's pretty good now, so I can get back to work on world map stuff. Today is the final version, as I'm calling it, and I need to give you guys a little bit of background on what I mean by final, because for those of you who are going to be following along with this project for the rest of 2021, the final version of this map is not actually final. One of the things I really like about Inkarnate, and of course other map programs are like this as well, but I can always come in here and add things to, or take things away, or modify the map in some way. Um, and the final version of this map is basically what I'm just calling a kind of good enough to serve as the basis for the campaign module setting and the book itself. So everything's kind of, we've got all the major waypoints set out. We've got kind of names given to everything. But as I dive into the writing of the campaign module and I finish fleshing out the story in the core rulebook and I start working on the novel, we're going to start adding points of interest. We're going to start saying, oh, the caves of death, the Tower of Doom, that kind of stuff. And those are not on the map. I have not put those types of points of interest on the map specifically and for a reason. And that's because I don't want too much of the world map to influence the creation of some of these stories. Now, of course, we do need some things because without a world map, we can't actually have. We won't know what the kingdoms are and what the names of the cities are and so on and so forth. So the final version of the map, which is what we're going to be working on today, I'm going to be coming here. I want to add a name to the river down in the south. I want to think about names of um, like the lake in the northwest there. And I want to add some more rolling hills and uh, probably, as I've been working on the core rulebook, we've added some mountains to the south in the story. Excuse me. So I need to add some mountains where it says the blasted lands at the bottom. That was literally just a placeholder name, so we're going to be changing that and putting those southern impassable mountains there. Um, yeah, and kind of, and that's an interesting thing because when I first put the blasted lands, I just figured there was going to be just a boundary there. But I went ahead and in the core rulebook, as I had been going through and writing the story for the Quantum Wars and the Elven Civil War, it just came to be that there is a mountain range there that the elves sealed off to keep the infection from spreading north um, from all the things that have happened in that southern continent, that southern section of the realm. Anyway, I've given you enough history this morning. Let's dive in and do some actual work here. All right, we want to, let's see here, actually, let's go down here first. We want to do text. Oh, you know what I don't remember is I gotta remember what font I used and everything. That is, I am fell English. Okay, so when we do the next one, but that's really big. And we're going to need to do something a little smaller here. A lot smaller. What do we want to call this river? I called it something in the core rulebook, but I don't. It started with a T, and I don't want to do that because we already have the Temurian Hills. I don't like that. The Delsna? No, I don't like that either. Nope. Names are one of those things that sometimes they pop right into your head and sometimes they don't. There we go. I like that. The Minria River. Oh, and I don't want a capital. However, we need to bring that font size way down. Is 4 the lowest I can go? I guess 4 is the lowest I can go. Well, we're going to put that right in there. Okay. Now we're going to come up. Come on now. And we need to give a name to this lake. We also need to get rid of those 2 little dots because I don't like those. I don't know why they're there. This is the polish I was talking about, and it looks like we need to move that triangle just a bit. Come on now, let's move you around a little bit. Maybe we actually... There we go. Kieran Lake. Okay. Go back into here. I want to do a subtract. I'm going to bring that way down and also way down. There we go. Okay. Probably need to name this river as well. move that all around a little bit. Perhaps something like this. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet, so we'll probably just leave that open. You know, one thing I need to do is I need to fix this. Something along those lines. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and save that. All right. It's going to be a beautiful day today. The birds are extremely happy outside. What is the weather like right now? It is 12 degrees Celsius outside right now. Beautiful weather. All right. What's it going to get up to today? 21. It's not bad at all. Last year it was 27 degrees around this time, so pretty good. I got no complaints about that temperature. All right, so I don't think I need to name too much more. I probably need to come up with names for these rivers. Um, don't know what we're calling this one. Nope, it doesn't need a capital T. Let's just do that, the Huron River. And over here as well, we need something. Maybe I should. Something like that. I almost feel like these big fonts are too big, but that's a cosmetic thing we can look at later. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to do these rolling hills and I want to spread them out more. and bring them up through the heartland. So let's go back to stamp tools, and I want to do rolling hills, and I want to do random stamps, and let's kind of come in here. That one I need to bring down a layer. And then bring the next one back up to layer 0. So you notice how I have the big hills there and then bigger hills, and then we get back up into big hills over here. I kind of like that, but we're going to have this transition. Let's bring this down a layer. That looks pretty good. Back up. Probably. Bring that down. Something like that. That looks pretty good. So we have these rolling hills that kind of go through the central heartland here. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and save this. Dun, 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 dun. I've got Tenacious D in my head. Maybe do one hill here and bring that size back down. Do another one here. Another one here, just so we can kind of see a bit of a transition as opposed to just the hills cutting off there. Maybe those go all the way to the sea. All right, I can dig it. All right, now we need to, we're gonna get rid of this little tidbit there. And we're gonna move this up because we're gonna do some mountains, but then we're gonna put that down. I think, let me look up, I'll have to look up the name here in a minute. I think it's the Tirana Mountains. I'm thinking that font is too big. I may go back and redo this, but for now, we need to go into and I'm pretty sure I want the big mountains. large mountains. I like how you could do this off the map a little bit. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and bring up. I don't know how I want this to look quite yet. So we're going to put some all right, something like that. Now we need to do, we're going to go down and we're going to say, something like this. That's looking pretty good. And then bring this back up because we're going to put all right, we need to bring that density down again. Get a little bit, some smaller peaks in here. That's looking pretty good. I think. Probably needs to be some sort of a gradual. See, though, I think that might just be too. It might be too abrupt. Excuse me. So let me redo this because I feel like it's too much packed into that southern border now that I'm taking a look at it. So let's get rid of those. Let's try that again. Okay. 30, I think, was the biggest I had ever done in the mountains before. So let's maybe have a big one here and a big one there. But then, like, we don't need to see. Oh, you know what? And I'm on the wrong layer. That's fine. Because we don't actually have to show that it's all the way to the coast on either side. Can I move those a little bit down? Thank you. Maybe put one big peak in here. Okay, that might work a little bit better. And then I can kind of shape this somewhat. Let's go down a layer. Let's switch over to a different mountain style here real quick. And then we're just gonna put some not impassable, perhaps. And then maybe we'll make a transition to some rolling hills. that looks a little. I think I like that a little bit better. But it looks like we have to move some of this stuff down because we're a little bit. Let me save this first and see what happens because I wasn't quite at the edge like I thought I was. Experimenting with the edge of the map, ladies and gentlemen. Because basically I want to take that whole section and just move it down a little bit. If I can. Yes, I can. This is brilliant. So let's move this over a little bit. That's perfect. All right, now the only thing I might want to do is this rolling hills right here. I'm going to bring up and over. And I think this one too. And I probably need to bring this one down. Something like that. That looks good. That gives us definitely a transition that's not so abrupt. No, hang on. I don't also want the excuse me, I also don't want the terrain also. I just want this. And I definitely feel like these fonts are too big, so we're going to bring that down to 10. What size are these? 6? Yeah, I'm going to bring all these down to a 10 instead of a 12. All right, I'm going to have to the Temurian. Bring that down to a 10. All right, so let's do these on a one-on-one basis. The twin. If I can learn how to spell. We're going to bring that down to 10. Triplet. Then we've got nope, don't open that. Then we have the northern spine. Northern plains. Okay. The inner sea, we're going to bring that down. The dark wood. I don't know why it does that. The ice wood. Frozen Sisters. Bring that down. Frozen North. Bring that down. Oh, the Mad Sea needs to be brought down. The Mad Sea. The ice. Morning sneeze. Yay. All right, what else we got? The mountain, the Bay of Malnir. I wish it wouldn't do that. The Bay. Nope. Bay. Ah, just select the whole text, please. Bay of Islia. Bring that down. Bay of Malnir. Bring that down. Neverhen Mountains. Those are coming down. Greenwood is coming down. That's all of them, yes? Yes, everything's coming down. Everything's come down to a 10 as opposed to a 12. Let's go ahead and save that. All right, then we're going to bring this. We're going to choose this. And it needs to come over a bit and come up a bit. Something like that. Frozen North. Bring that over a bit. And we still need a name. Where are the banners? I know they're in here somewhere. No, go back to the stamp tool. Show. No. Yeah, that's probably the one I want right there. I'm using arrows, that's why. Huh, herpin and derpin. Oh, this is definitely going to be a better place for it. Something like that, and then we can actually add a little bit of a curvature to it. Wow, that's way too much. Hold on. Got a little crazy there. Stop! That's too much. Wait, that's the wrong one. Curvature, this is the one I want. Let's see what that looks like. Got an error. Thinking we're pretty much close to done now. Not 100% sure, but pretty sure. Let's take a look at this. Do we need... Maybe we'll put one over here. Just to see what it looks like. We've got these types of compasses. I kind of like this one. Is that too busy? I don't know if that's too busy or not. Or maybe we need to juxtapose. No. What are you doing? I want to select this whole thing. Let's just move this up over here. And let's move this down over here. I think that looks a little better, actually. Question is, do I want to move this over more or just leave it where it is? I like how it's got that tinge because I had it slightly painted. Let's come back in here actually with the, and let's bring the opacity down. Way down to like 22 and like just give the whole thing a bit of a lightening down of color. I'm thinking that is a saved map, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking this is pretty close to being final. Um, I think it's good enough that we're going to render out the 8K version and get this up for the Patreon folks. Might make some small changes later on, but I think we're pretty good now. As I continue to flesh out, so let's recap real quick for those of you who might be just watching this at the end as I wind up this video. The recap is that this is what I'm calling a quote unquote final version of the map. So it's now good enough that I'm going to render the 8K version and put it up on Patreon for our subscribers to download and use as a reference. And then this is the reference point that we're going to be using to start and continue with the work on the core rulebook and the novel. Now, some of this is still pretty vague. You're going to notice that like this over here, this over here, this over here, this, none of this has anything really defined in it yet. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is because the way I've looked at it is this is a human map, so they haven't really explored all of the northern regions yet because we're dealing with the history so far. Um, I'm putting humans in this realm. As of the moment, this could change, but the humans have been here for about 400 years. So they've expanded quite quickly, and um, they've definitely explored these southern regions and populated it and around the lake, but the far north they haven't done a lot with. Next up is going to be the fact that as I go along writing the rest of the core rulebook history, world history, and stuff, and then as I'm working on the campaign module and the novel itself, I'm going to be creating points of interest and places that the adventurers, whether it's the players who are going to be playing the game or the characters from the book, places that these individuals are going to be um, seeing as well as they go along and exploring and discovering. And as I come up with those waypoints and points of interest, those are going to go into the map, and this map will be updated. So it's going to be an ongoing work in progress, but I think it's going to be good as is. And from here, we're going to be calling it a wrap on this. So moving from here, I'm actually going to start going and work on the city maps. The first city map I'm going to be doing is for Parthana here, because Parthana is where the event happens, where the plague starts, where this this thing happens that causes humans to go off the rails against the elves and starts this war that we're working on. So stay tuned for all of that. All those are going to be coming down the pipeline. I'm going to be doing all those maps as well through YouTube and sharing those with everybody, the ongoing process. Don't forget, though, the final versions are only available to subscribers over on Patreon. So if you want to pick up a final version of this map in all its 8K glory, you'll need to check the links below and pick up a subscription to Patreon, where you can join the Project Dramond crew and watch all of this being unfolded in real time. We do 3 posts a week. Every Tuesday is an update on the core rulebook and campaign setting stuff. Every Thursday is a book or concept art update, and every Sunday is an adventure game update from the point and click adventure game that my brother is working on. So don't forget, you can always follow along at TikTok as well. We do daily updates on TikTok. Links are found below. Join the Discord channel. Links are found below. And of course, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you get updates for all of the future content that we do here on YouTube. And of course, like I said, pick up a subscription on Patreon so you don't miss anything. And I will see everybody in the next episode.